Hello again, this is Doug, the 2-Minute Gardener, and today I'm going to talk about how pesticides almost robbed me of the chance to become a father. Now, as you saw in an earlier video, we bought this house about 24 years ago, right on a cul-de-sac because we wanted to have kids. It was a great place to raise a family. It was also a great house to build an amazing rose garden. I loved entering roses and other flowers in competition and winning lots of trophies for that. So I set about ripping out the various shrubs and trees and installing over 100 roses in containers everywhere to really build a beautiful garden. And when it came time to win those trophies and ribbons, I was very successful with my garden. But when it came time to actually having kids, we were failing. So we set about trying to have a family. We realized that there was no way we're going to have it the old-fashioned way. We had to go the route of in vitro fertilization. A very painful process, but it was needed to try and make our dreams come true of having children. So we did that. My wife got pregnant. Unfortunately, she miscarried that first baby. We did it again. My wife got pregnant again. This time, she carried the baby almost to term, had a partial miscarriage, but the doctors were able to save the pregnancy and get it through one more month. Then she gave birth to our son, Noah, who was born 5 weeks premature, weighing about 4.5 pounds. But the doctors were able to save his life and get him through that first delicate month of living for a premature baby. And now, 22 years later, he's the one holding this camera. It was a glorious moment. But we still wanted one more child. And so we went the route of in vitro fertilization again, despite the fact that insurance had cut us off. It was going to cost us $15,000, but we really wanted another child. We did it. My wife got pregnant again, this time with twins, and we were overjoyed at having twins. And we loved watching their little hearts beat on the ultrasound week after week. But tragically, on January 28, 2001, she miscarried those. That was the worst day of my life, having to console my beloved Lisa on the couch, having lost yet another pregnancy. So after the miscarriage, I read a book called Silent Spring by Rachel Carson. In that book, Rachel Carson outlines the connection between pesticides and infertility. I realized I was using the exact same chemicals she talked about in her book in my garden, because I was told in order to really win a lot of trophies, I had to spray the garden with lots of insecticides to kill all the insects. To win a lot of trophies, I had to spray my roses with lots of fungicides to kill all the fungus so I could win a lot of trophies. But in my blind pursuit of all those trophies, I was hosing a ton of chemicals in the garden, and I was getting covered with those chemicals. And when I walked in the house, my wife would complain how I would stink up the house with these chemicals. After I read Rachel Carson's book, I realized that I was one of the causes of our infertility, and it broke my heart again. So I decided I didn't care if I ever won another trophy. I had to get rid of those chemicals. So I safely disposed of all of it, and my wife and I set about trying to adopt a little baby girl. So after a year of working on the adoption, we had another amazing surprise. After a year of getting rid of all those chemicals and pesticides, my wife got pregnant the old-fashioned way, and we were faced with a very difficult decision. Do we continue with the adoption, or do we call it off and see if we can hang on to this pregnancy? We decided to take a big chance and continue with the adoption and hope that we safely brought home both babies. And so a few months later, we traveled to Russia and we found our baby Elsa there in the northern town of Kirov in the frozen wastelands. And yes, we did name her Elsa, way before the Disney movie ever named her Elsa, which, by the way, Disney owes me $300 million for, but that's another video. A few months after we brought Elsa home, my wife gave birth to a little baby boy. He came in at almost 10 pounds, double the weight of Noah. again, a tribute to getting rid of all the chemicals in our garden. We decided to name this little miracle baby Elijah because he represented so much hope in life after we got rid of the chemicals in my rose garden. A year after Elijah was born, the National Rose Show came to San Diego. And I decided that even though I didn't have a rose garden with chemicals, I still had some decent roses that I wanted to enter in that big illustrious rose show. Now, Elijah at that point was kind of developing into a vampire in that he loved to stay up all night and keep us awake. So my wife said, take Elijah, get him out of here. So at 2 in the morning, I loaded up Elijah and a whole bunch of roses and went down to the National Rose Show to enter some roses in the competition. Elijah was so cute. He was in his little baby backpack watching me enter roses all morning, going la 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 la, entertaining everybody. He was just so charming. Anyway, I put all the roses in and I hoped for the best. And when I came back later that day, I discovered that my wonderful little sexy Rexy, this rose here, had produced 3 flawless sprays that won the trophy for best 3 Floribunda sprays at the National Rose Show. A rose that was grown without chemicals, without pesticides, without anything, and I still managed to win a trophy at the National Show. And as you can see by the rest of my garden, grown without any pesticides for 19 years, it really is a wonderful way to garden. You don't need those chemicals. By the way, that little boy Elijah who is in the at the Rose Show entertaining everybody, here he is now. Giant 6-foot-tall teenager about to learn to drive. So once again, don't use those pesticides, insecticides, fungicides. You don't need it to have a beautiful garden. In the weeks ahead, I will show you how to grow roses like this without any kind of chemicals. Well, that's all the time we have for now. This is Doug, the 2-Minute Gardener, saying if you like this video, make sure to smash the like button and don't forget to hit subscribe as well to get more of my garden videos. Thanks again for watching. This is Doug, the 2-Minute Gardener.